The Scholastic Ball Report is sponsored by UK Sports Medicine and brought to you by Central Bank, Crown Trophy, Farmers Bank and Capital Trust, Kentucky Utilities, Pannell Swim Shop, P-Rats, PrepSpin.com, Rafferty's, Roberts Insurance, Sutherland Chevrolet, and by Whitaker Bank.
Welcome back into the Scholastic Ball Report. Gary Ball with Coach David Buchanan from Mercer County. Thank you for co-hosting today.
Hey, thanks for having me. This will be fun.
You know who's in the house? Lafayette's in the house, because you know what that means. They're going back to the state championships in Bowling Green. They take on Trinity tonight at 8 o'clock, Coach. And I tell you what, Coach Eric Shaw does a tremendous job over there at Lafayette.
He does. He does a super job. I got to watch that game against Scott County and really impressed with both teams. And Coach Shaw's done a great job.
And you've got a little history there at Lafayette.
Well, my dad was at Lafayette in the late 60s, so I've got a 1968 Lafayette team picture hanging up at the house.
Awesome. That's good stuff. And, you know, tell us about our two scholar athletes. I know they're administrative assistants there at Mercer County. They do a great job for your football team.
Well, every old coach needs to have two like these. It's Gabby Banks and Morgan Reed, and they keep us modern. They've got Twitter and Instagram. I can't even spell those two things. And and they really do. They do a lot of stuff behind the scenes running our program and have just been outstanding.
I looked at their bios, and Coach, just so impressed. That's why we started this show, for young ladies like that, you know, they play softball, they help the football team. I mean, without ladies like that, I don't know how a lot of these programs get things done.
Well, and I know that, and I'm worried about them graduating. I'm in trouble. They've done a great job.
And we've got another Pannell Swim Shop, Michaela Flowers in. Michaela is from Lexington Christian. She's in with Ryan Winders. And when we started this show, Rick Pannell said, hey, Gary, let's do some swimmers and divers. I'll sponsor it. So, you know, that's what the show's all about, Coach.
Yeah, and you guys have. You've been really good to high school kids and high school athletes, and it's great that they're included in this. That's wonderful.
And we're going to head down 27 to another Sutherland Chevrolet Drive of the Week. That on the show as well. Laurie Blanca's in from UK Sports Medicine. But let's get to the best. How about let's get to the best highlights in the state of Kentucky? We've got one state football championship. That's Beechwood and Hazard played last night, and then the other state championships tonight. We've got highlights of that coming up on the show. These highlights brought to you by P-Rats. You got to think outside that corporate black box.
Tonight we start with the first football state championship game this weekend. The Class A matchup between Bowling Green between Beechwood looking for its 12th win against Hazard looking for its 7th state championship. First quarter, Tigers QB Braden Brunch is scrambling and gets popped. Cade Holland decleats him. Wow. But then the Bulldogs, Corey Smith takes it in from 7 yards out. 7-0 Hazard now tied at 7. Beechwood's Trevor Soward from 1 yard out puts the Tigers ahead 14-7 at halftime. Beechwood is once again your Class A state champion with a 2014 win over Hazard.
Welcome back in with my intern Joe Hurd out of Lafayette. Lafayette is our team of the week. I want to thank Bob Roberts Insurance. They're out in Richmond, Kentucky. Bob Roberts Insurance, they insure 3/4 of this great state of Kentucky. As I said, our team of the week, Lafayette Generals. Coach Shaw's in. And Coach, you know, I tell you what, your mantra all season at Lafayette's been unfinished business. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Been unfinished business. You're playing now in the 6A title game tonight as this show airs against Trinity. What was the week different like preparing for Trinity, say, than last year when you played Male? Any difference?
Not any difference. A little more relaxed, not so upbeat about being there for the first time and wanting to play well. So some of that stress from that is alleviated now because this is the second time.
Been there, done that type
Been there,
of thing.
done
That's
that.
good. That's good.
Coach, talk to us about these three guys.
Well,
They can play a little bit, can't they, Coach?
they can play a little bit. Walker Wood is one of our great leaders of the team.
Has a pretty good football IQ.
Pretty smart, pretty smart. Jedger Wills the same way.
He's blindside over there.
Yeah, definitely that.
He can block.
And Ian Shaw, my youngest
I saw that
boy.
play, by the way, where he's driving that dude down the field. Looked just like blindside.
Looked just like it. Looked just like
really
it.
did.
Looked just like it. They play hard. They lead the group,
They do.
and they give it some energy when it's time to give it some.
Right. And Mr. Shaw down there at the end, he's the leading tackler on the team. And boy, what a play he had! That picked up that onside kick and ran it in.
Sometimes he makes some smart
That's right.
plays.
That's right. Let's start with Walker Wood. Obviously, you're a Mr. Football candidate, one of the leading candidates, around the state because of not only the numbers you put up, your leadership, and that goes back to your football IQ. You're a senior now, but you've been playing since freshman year, right? You were kind of thrown in as a starter, midway through your freshman year, I think it was?
Yes, sir. I started out at wide receiver my freshman year and then got the chance to get behind center midway through the season.
So how has that helped you prepare for this game with Trinity, all the experience you've got? I mean, four-year starter, really.
I think it's a great deal. I mean, just working with Coach Matthews and Coach Hall for so long now, and Coach Matthews knows what I like to do, and I know how he calls his plays and everything, and I think we just got each other's back, and I mean, that helps. It doesn't matter who you're playing. It's just going to help our team and our offense.
Jed, how's it feel heading back to state as a senior, knowing this is your shot?
It feels great, especially the opportunity that we have now with all the seniors that we have and the upcoming juniors and sophomores and freshmen on the team. It's definitely a shot that not everybody gets to have. Like we talked about in practice, only 2 teams left that are practicing right now. So we just got to take advantage of it and make sure that we get state championships the way that we want to go out as seniors.
Ian Shaw, there's an old cliche about, offense sells tickets, but we know what wins those championships, defense. So tell us, how's the defense look this week to you in practice?
The defense looks good this week, getting ready. Get ready for the game. I mean, we look good.
Good. It's really been improving, hasn't it? I noticed your defense, you inserted Jed there at defensive end, and that really helps. Last year you put Landon Young in there at one of those sides, so you had the big bookends there, but that's helped. And your secondary seems like they've really, from early in the season improved a lot.
They have matured and grown. Early in the year, actually all season, we've been in a lot of man coverage, and you learn how to play man, you learn how to play everything else. So we've had some bumps along the way. But overall, I think they've done a great job of maturing and growing and understanding how to play the position.
And one thing I noticed as we look at the great highlights there, the quarterback for Trinity, I saw him play earlier, Spencer Blackburn. He's mobile too. Although Walker has 30 touchdowns, he has 27 rushing touchdowns. But that had to help going with your defense up against Walker all week, getting ready for him, the Trinity guy.
I tell my defensive group, we got some of the best kids in the country that you practice against every day. So if you can manage that, you can manage anything.
Right.
That quarterback from Trinity is real good, and we're looking forward to the challenge.
I am too. I'm looking forward to calling it on KJSAA TV
Yes,
tonight.
sir.
I'm looking forward
Yes,
to 8
sir.
o'clock kickoff. And I tell you what, I got a good feeling, Coach. I just got a good feeling. Every once in a while I get those good feelings, because you got some good young men, you got some good talent over there at Lafayette.
I appreciate it.
Now we'll be back with more, and let's thank you guys for coming on the show, and good luck against
sir.
Trinity.
Yes, sir.
No
Thank
problem.
you.
We'll be back with more, including those great scholars from Mercer County. David Buchanan will be in here on the Scholastic Ball Report.
Hello, welcome back to the Scholastic Ball Report. Our Scholar Athletes of the Week are from Mercer County. First question is for Gabby. Gabby, while maintaining a 3.7, you're helping the football team and playing softball at Mercer County. What gives you the focus and drive to do both?
Well, I'm a really competitive person, and everything that I'm told to do, I want to get it done right, but also quick.
And Morgan, you have an outstanding 3.6 grade point average and achieve at all levels. What is it you like most about, because Coach Buchanan just told me you do so much as the football administrative assistant?
I've enjoyed helping to improve and expand our program through social media, and I know he has relied greatly on our efforts and found us very dependable, so that's been rewarding for us.
That social media is just so important nowadays, and I mean to get that word out there, on Twitter, Facebook, whatever it is, you got to, especially young kids like you all, y'all love that stuff.
I agree. Emphasis on the word young. That's why they're doing it
right, very young.
Yes, sir.
Coach, tell me about these two.
They've got a great work ethic. They're really good at stuff that I don't like and I don't want to do, modern stuff, social media. And when I listed all the things that they did, and I sent it to Gary, I was embarrassed at how much they've done. They really have done a lot of work for us and have been a huge asset to our program. And really, I get to do more of just being a coach, and they handle a lot of stuff behind the scenes. And really, they do a lot better job than I would do if I were doing it. They've been great.
Gabby, the role you have there, what are you most proud of maybe something you've done that, really stands out to you?
Well, we found some jerseys at the complex that were no longer being used, and we decided that we were going to give them to some special needs kids at our school.
That's awesome.
So we had like a little ceremony for them in the auditorium, and each gave them a bag with a jersey.
That's great.
Morgan, how will this experience affect you as you move on to college and adulthood?
I have learned how to multitask and prioritize my responsibilities, so I know that will be essential for me later on in life.
Coach, you're one of the good ones. You've been so good to the Ball Report the last 14 years, and we appreciate that. And but more schools around the area, more schools need folks like Gabby and Morgan to help with their programs, don't they?
Well, they do, but they're exceptional. They're going to struggle finding two as good as these two.
Right,
they're very good at what they do, and I'm going to be in trouble when they walk out the door. That's for sure.
You're not looking forward to their graduation,
No,
are you?
I'm not.
Although you'll be proud of them.
I'm very proud.
Right. There's the plaques from Crown Trophy. Take those over there, and Mr. Tyson will personalize those for you. Keep up the great work. So proud of what you're doing, and great job there at Mercer County. Thank you, Coach, as always.
Hey, thanks for having our kids on.
That's our Scholar Athletes from Mercer County, the most popular segment on the show because it highlights young ladies like this who are doing great things in the classroom. Now we're going to head down to 27. We're going to Sutherland Chevrolet down in Nicholasville, Kentucky with the Sutherland Drive of the Week.
Let's take a look at our Sutherland Chevrolet Drive of the Week. It comes to us from Georgetown. Madison Southern on the road against Scott County in girls basketball action. The Redbirds erupt right out of the gate. Morgan DeFore, just a freshman, gets the deflection. And then you could give her the steal when she picks it up. And watch the spin move in the lane. Scott County would go on for the huge win, 87-57. Congratulations, Morgan. That's our Sutherland Chevrolet Drive of the Week.
Back into the Pannell Swim Shop segment. Rick Pannell couldn't be with us tonight. He's under the weather a little bit like I was a month or so ago, but we got Michaela Flower and Ryan Winders, and always great to have great swimmers and coaches on the show. Thanks to Rick Pannell. Let's start with you, Miss Flower. You qualified last year for region and state, of course.
Yes, I did.
But tell us about this season. I know you've won a couple of meets already.
Yes, we've had 2 meets, and the season's been going well so far, and we hope to continue it. And since this is my senior year, I hope to end it well this year.
And I'm sure how'd you do in those 2 meets?
I did well.
Well, good.
Yes.
Did you win?
I didn't win, but I did very well.
That's great. That's great. Coach, tell us about the swim program there at LCA and what you see out of great swimmers like Michaela.
Well, our swim program is a really young team right now. We've got like a lot of younger swimmers in about 7th, 8th, 9th grade.
Right. Getting them ready for future.
Getting them ready for the future, yes. We have a lot of, a good mix of club swimmers that swim year-round and a lot of swimmers that just swim for the high school team or do summer swims in like our local leagues. Right. Swimmers like Michaela are great. She swims for Kentucky Aquatics as well, and has swam for many years, doing like a long distance freestyle and qualifying for us for 4 or 5 years, I think.
Do you think with the Olympics and what Michael Phelps did in the pool and our whole Olympic team, do you think that's inspired young ladies and men like yourself?
Definitely. I think after the Olympics, everyone was like really pumped to go back into the season and just to be inspired by them and their hard work.
And I got to mention, Coach, she has a 3.97 grade point average, so she's near straight A's. So how's she able to do that with all the time you got to be in the pool and everything? How are you able to do all that?
It's very hard. You have to figure out how to balance it all with like your social life, your studies, swimming. But once you figure out that balance, it's not as bad as you would think. But
I remember I asked a little girl on the show a few years ago. I'll never forget her answer. She was a swimmer too, and I said, "How do you do it?" She said, she said a little bit of coffee and a lot of Jesus.
Yes, definitely. Same.
Right.
Yeah, yes.
Well, keep up the great work there at
Thank you.
LCA. Thank you, Coach. And you're doing great things there at Lexington Christian. Of course, we thank Rick Pannell for sponsoring the Swimmer of the Week. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's Michaela Flowers. She does outstanding work out there in the pool at Lexington Christian. Thanks to our Coach Winters as well for coming in. And now we're going to the UK segment. Laurie Blunk's going to join us from UK Sports Medicine. And back in with our UK Sports Medicine segment. Laurie Blunk's with us. We said you were going to be with us, and behold, you're here. So thanks for coming in. You know, we're going to talk about asthma. What is asthma?
So asthma is basically a constriction in the vessels that carry oxygen or air in and out of your lungs.
Mm-hmm. What might trigger an asthma attack?
Typically, asthma attacks are triggered by environmental factors, smoke, things like that, allergies. People can develop asthma with exercise. They may not have it initially as a child, but it can develop as they go on. Stress, sometimes too, stress and environmental factors like that.
What are some of the common signs and symptoms to watch for asthma?
Things to kind of look out for: tightness in the chest, coughing, wheezing, shortness of breath with activity can oftentimes, especially with exercise-induced asthma.
And some people have those little asthma inhalers. Is that commonly used for treatment of asthma?
Yep. So that's typically your best way of controlling asthma. Get with your doctor. They can prescribe you a medication to either take before or during activity, or if it's just regular asthma, you know, a certain dosage you're supposed to take each day to keep symptoms under wraps.
And you know, being an athletic trainer out there at Tate's Creek, probably every sport there's a kid, at least one or two, that suffer from some type of asthma, isn't there? I mean, you know, whether it's some kind of allergy or something like that. Do you see that pretty prevalent?
Yep, we see it a lot, especially with our fall and spring athletes, just where they're outside more, exposed to those environmental factors
and
too.
And that pollen is, you know, bursting out there too.
Yep.
Well, great stuff, Laurie. Always good to see you on the show. Keep up the great work there.
Thank you.
Laurie Blunk from UK. There's the website. They've got the walk-in clinic every Monday through Friday, every morning, 7 a.m., right?
7 to 8.
The walk-in clinic, the beautiful facility over there at the old Turfland Mall. Thanks to Laurie Blunk. Now we're going to these final highlights. It's, of course, basketball and football action brought to you by PrepSpin, the best digital network in the state of Kentucky.
Now to basketball at the high school level. The season tipped off Monday night. A pair of schools opened with close calls meeting tonight, Madison Central and Lafayette. We picked this one up in the second half. The Generals would lead 30-27. In the third, Lafayette's Evan Drew picks the pocket as the layup at the other end. He had 13. Baker's dozen. Central grabs the lead off the block shot, the textbook fast break. Watch this. Central's Isaiah Minner. The only bounce, the ball touches the floor once. Dustin Geralds for the basket. Geralds with 11. Indians by 4, 39-35. Then watch the big fella go to work. Isaiah Cozart misses, stays with it, padding his stats on the rebound ledger. He had 8. He almost had 8 rebounds in one play. 63-52, Lafayette takes it. Tate's Creek and Henry Clay for the Blue Devils. It's their season opener. Blue Devils on fire. Quentin Jackson for 3. It's good. Then off a miss by Creek, it's Brian Tribble taking the fast one and getting the in one. Blue Devils up by double digits, and Justin Mitchell just pours some salt into the wound and add another one. Henry Clay takes this one 67-58 the final.
And thank you to Coach Dave Buchanan for co-hosting with me today, the great coach at Mercer County. Laura Blunk with us, Joe Hurt. Also, don't forget the Cajuns AA TV. You can catch the audio broadcast on Mixler of all the state football championships tonight at 5 o'clock and at 8 o'clock. That's Central Time. And then tomorrow, Sunday, catch all those games as well from Western Kentucky University. Laura, there are a few injuries going on that we're looking for in basketball. Jumper's knee, things like that?
Yep, so like a patellar tendonitis or jumper's knee, lots of ankle sprains, people coming down on other people's foot and spraining their ankles all the time.
That's why they got you to wrap them up, tape them up and everything out there.
We try.
Right, so good stuff. Thanks to all our guests again. As always, on the Scholastic Ball Report, for those you see and those you don't see.
Keep your eye on the Scholastic Ball Report.
The Scholastic Ball Report was sponsored by UK Sports Medicine and brought to you by Central Bank, Crown Trophy, Farmers Bank and Capital Trust, Kentucky Utilities, Pannell Swim Shop, P-Rats, PrepSpin.com, Rafferty's, Roberts Insurance, Sutherland Chevrolet, and by Whitaker Bank.